Good day, and thank you for tuning in and listening to our discussion this morning. I'd like to introduce you to Jon Harding, and he's from the Academy of Wealth, and he's got a wealth of experience. So he's been supporting especially independent schools in the area and the arena of financial management, budgeting, and then the ever dreaded fee collection. So he's an expert at keeping a school financially stable and liquid. So, Jon, thank you for your time. Please tell us about the Academy of Wealth and what services you offer.
Okay, thanks very much, Morgan, for that introduction. My name is Jon Harding. I'm a chartered accountant by trade, and I've been involved in business. And for the last 30 years or so, I've been involved on the educational side. With regard to schools, I've been the financial director of what was then the biggest member of the ISASA system, which is the King David Schools. I was the financial director there, and together with my CEO, we had a very challenging environment within which we worked, but we managed to turn that school around substantially. It was also a great pleasure for me to be working with some of the heads of industry in South Africa. As you well know, there are a lot of businessmen, and Adrian Gore was, in fact, the first chairman that I worked with. I was the financial director of EduCore, which was owned by NASPAS at the time. As I said, I've been working with ISASA, particularly on fee collections, and there are two things that have become very clear to me. The first problem is that the problem within schools regarding administration is far greater than the recognition it is currently getting. And secondly, our heads of schools face massive challenges as they have been given a huge responsibility in a role that extends way beyond what they were taught. They were taught to become teachers, and all of a sudden they are CEOs running, in some cases, very large and complex businesses. So whilst there's been a lot of investment and monies and resources put into the academic program with regard to e-learning, remote learning, and all these things that were necessary as a result of the COVID pandemic, one cannot say that the same effort and monies has gone into the administration side of the business. And this really is a problem. I'm seeing very large schools today coming to my courses, and they don't have simple things like collection targets in place. They don't allow credit cards to be used to make payments because of the cost of using a credit card. And bear this in mind. You'd rather pay that 3% of the credit card and get your money in than writing off 100%. These are simple things that really need to be addressed. So what I've really focused on is how do we simplify the problem? And one of the things that I do is through the program that I've produced is to focus on the role of the head. So what we do is we look at the financial side of the business, the administrative side of the business, and we prepare a series of five one-on-one coaching sessions. And one of the things that we particularly look at within the school, and remember that now that we're using their numbers in particular, so it's training the head on the numbers of their own particular school. What we've managed to come up with is a dashboard that indicates to the head, these are the buttons that need to continually be pressed. So this coaching that we do includes particularly the budget, which is such a key part of the school management, the financial statements. What are the key messages coming out of the financial statements? And in particular, we focus on information around collections. I've seen things, as I said, at the ISASA courses that worry me. The collection of overdue debt is a massive problem, and it's just not being dealt with in a professional manner. And that is why it is building up so fast. I'm getting feedback that schools are collecting round about somewhere between 75 and 82% of their collection targets, or total outstandings or total invoices sent out for the month. And yet, when I ask how high the debt provision is, the provision for bad debt, I usually get answers of around about 5%. So there's a massive gap between the provision that's being put away and the actual collection. And that means definitely there are cash flow problems down the line. To end off, I think there's never been a more critical time for schools to focus on getting their administration right. Rising costs, fee fatigue amongst parents, and economic pressures mean that every decision counts. This program that we have isn't about adding work, about giving heads the support they've never had and putting them into the driver's seat, putting them in charge, and giving them all the information they need, not only to present to the Board of Governors, but to take proper action when it's required. We're now offering this program to school leaders, and we're excited to work with schools that want to lead with clarity, not just hope. Thank you.
Wow, Jon, that's really amazing, and you've touched so many very important points. For example, that fee collection, your budgeting for that, and how schools are under budgeting, and yet when it gets to 30, 60 or 90 days, they don't have a plan to bring that in. And even mentioning the credit cards, you mentioned that you offer workshops to school principals, but it's also important that the financial team, would you agree that the whole financial team would benefit from that workshop?
Very definitely. So what we do is we provide essentially a one-on-one, it's one-on-one
Consultation.
me and the school
Yes.
So I would need to carry out my program. I would look at the school's budget. I would look at their financial statements. I would look at their month-to-month management reporting. I would even look at the minutes of their management meeting. And I would come up with suggestions, with statistics, with ratios they could use, etc. But my key is to work towards a dashboard that stays with the head, and he or she is able to use that dashboard to drive out their monthly administrative program within the school.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know in a previous conversation you mentioned that you even wrote some modules for the pastel system.
That's correct, yes. So I wrote the credit control module, which forms part of the pastel suite of accounting.
So our schools really have access to an expert in the field. So, Jon, how would they contact you, apart from our website where you'll be listed as a services provider? How would they go about contacting you and inviting you?
Okay, they can contact me on 082 808 2176 or on my email at info@thedebtplanner.co.za.
been wonderful connecting with you, and that you are so willing to share your wealth of experience and knowledge and expertise with us. Thank you so much.
Right. Okay, Morgan, thank you very much.